We chose the name The Good Catholic Life because we view that the true good life that God wants us to have is the good Catholic life. They're truly synonymous. The more we embrace the Church's teaching and live it to the best of our abilities, the happier we'll be. God tells us that. So, we like that the name of the show also is a positive name. Too often our church is seen erroneously as the church of no. It's really the church of yes.
This is The Good Catholic Life.
Thank you, Rick. Welcome, everyone, and thanks again for choosing to spend this hour with us. Catholics are called to build a society that treasures the dignity of human life.
Challenging them to think beyond just their parish boundaries. We're asking them to think about the Catholic community in their town or city.
When you're working for God, we believe strongly, and we reflect this in our ministry. One of our mantras at the ministry is we take the work serious, we don't take ourselves serious. If you're working for God, you should be having fun, you should be having a good time.
Ash Wednesday, March 9th this year, we had our first program. The first 100 shows have gone by like this. It's been really great. The mission of the show is to present the breadth of our Catholic Church to everybody in the Catholic community. I've been moved by how much I've learned about the Church in the first 100 episodes. And most of the time it's told through the stories of actually people live in our faith. Priests, people who work in ministries here, average Catholics in the parishes that are just taking some initiative to make their parish and therefore our overall church much stronger.
It's a lot of fun to hear about different ministries in the church and different church documents, but it's especially motivating and interesting to me when there's a good story. We had the rosary rapper, Joe Melendrez, who was talking about how he took a year of free burritos from a Mexican restaurant and turned it into a ministry. That was fascinating.
We choose guests and topics for the show based on trying to just make sure that over the course of the first year of doing the show, we hope to cover most everything in our Catholic faith. So we choose a lot of people that we think folks would want to hear from. Leaders in our church, our parish priests, people who run ministries here, Cardinal Sean, national guests who are really thought leaders. And then we choose topics that we think can really express what we believe as Catholics and what we hope to put into practice. So it's really the hope is that our topics are very broad, and over the course of our first 12 months and 300 shows, we'll cover just about everything.
We haven't. I don't think we're big enough yet to have people call us and say we want to be on the show. Although we had a couple people that have emailed in and asked about a ministry they might like. A lot of it's just ideas from people here in the Pastoral Center. Someone will stop me in the hallway and say, hey, we're having this speaker coming in next week for a retreat or a mission at a church in the evening. You should think about having them on the Good Catholic Life.
It's an awesome privilege to be able to meet so many folks who are living our faith much better than I think that I've ever lived my faith. And it's just an inspiration to be around good people, be around folks that you want to become.
Official job title is producer, radio producer. I help with scheduling all the guests and creating all the calendars to make sure we have someone on the show every day that we think our listeners will enjoy. And I also do what's called post-production, which means that I take a recording of the show and I make sure that it sounds good. I put it online for our listeners to listen to on the web and to give to our guests to take home.
John Paul II is a hero to so many Catholics, particularly those Catholics that came of age when he became Pope. there was a benefactor who wanted to help out the spread of the good Catholic life, and I had said if you have a favorite saint, would certainly want to consider naming the studio after that saint. And the benefactor said, well, what I'd like to do is wait until the beatification and then name it after Blessed John Paul II. So we were thrilled. He's a personal hero of mine.
So these are our microphones. This is where our guests sit. We have these pop filters here to make sure that the P's and the T's don't overload the system and sound bad. Everyone has their headphones so they can hear the music and all the promotional commercial spots that we do. So once the guest speaks into the microphone, it travels down the wires, through on the bottom of the desk, and it comes over to our equipment rack here, which is next to where I sit. From there, it comes over onto the table into our mixing board. Each one of these sliders here represents one channel, so you can see the 4 microphones. We have a chapel link, our computer that plays out all our music. So this is where I spend most of the time during the show, just making sure that the level of the audio of all the guests and the phone calls and the music is all right.
So we broadcast 5 days a week, and 4 days of the week I'm blessed to have a phenomenal co-host. We wanted to have a couple of priests to be able to provide a pastor's perspective toward things. So we were blessed that we asked 3 priests, hoping that 2 of them at least would say yes, but all 3 were excited to participate. So Father Chris O'Connor, the Vice Rector at St. John Seminary, is our Tuesday co-host. Father Matt Williams, who directs our office for the new evangelization of youth and young adults, is our Wednesday co-host. And Father Mark O'Connell, the judicial vicar of the Archdiocese of Boston, is our Friday co-host. And on Thursday, Susan Abbott, who's the director of our Office of Religious Ed, joins us. And she brings a tremendous perspective to the discussion of the news. I tend to prepare for the show by reading everything I can about whoever the guest is going to be. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a passion in our faith. We want to be able to tell the story of somebody living our faith in a particular way, so some biographical information. So I try to learn that in advance so I know where the conversation might go. And then I usually ask the guest, what are they passionate to talk about? If they work in a ministry here, it's usually that ministry. If it's a priest or a pastoral associate from a parish, it's usually one aspect of parish life that might make that parish unique, or an initiative that the parish is launching that we want to talk about. So usually it's 90 minutes to 2 hours of preparation for me that allow me to at least appear like I know what I'm talking about when we broadcast the show live at 4 p.m. I love hosting the show. I tend not to get nervous at all because I'm talking about something that I'm really passionate about, talking with people who are really interesting. And unlike being on TV, there's no camera in your face. You know, you get used to the microphone being an inch in front of your lips really quickly. And then it's really like a conversation that I have around the dinner table at home.
Most of the time it's just kind of a general excitement. You know, we have really good guests, and it's fun to debrief after the program too and talk to the guests about how they think it went, and ask questions that we didn't have enough time to talk about on the air.
We hope each episode that we'll be proud of, and the people that listen will say, I made a good choice that day to tune in.